welcome to Barre with Mary. It is day 4 of your Summer Strong Challenge. I hope that you're feeling really strong, really accomplished. Today's class is going to be all about engaging and activating the deep core. So this is going to be a really intense class for working the core, but it's also going to be some great information for you moving forward as you proceed forward in your barre classes, right? So you can apply all this information to all of your workouts moving forward. So we are going to use a yoga block today. I totally get that most people, or a lot of people at least, don't have yoga blocks at home. You could use a rolled up beach towel. That would absolutely work in place. Or even like a thick book would possibly work. Just maybe not too heavy of a book. So go ahead and take your block, just set it off to the side, and maybe on all fours. Hands under the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. And then go ahead and walk your hands forward about 6 inches so they're a little in front of the shoulders. Take a big inhale, and as you do that, I want you to round your spine and reach your hips back towards your heels. So coming towards a cat position, but letting the seat reach back. Now, as you take a big exhale, I want you to roll through the spine, let the hips drop, and then bring the gaze up, opening up the chest, almost like you're coming into an up dog here. So big inhales and big exhales. Keep going like that, rounding the spine, reaching the hips back. And then ripple through the spine, coming up towards that up dog. So really just articulating the spine, opening up the back body, opening up through the front line of the chest and the abdominals, and starting to connect to your breath as well. So today's class is not going to be a super fast-paced one, but we are going to get a lot of information and a ton of work into the abdominals. So really enjoy this moment. Last time, I want you to meet me in that little up dog position. Hold it there. Inhale. As you exhale, bend the elbows, lay your chest all the way down to the mat. Now slide your elbows forward, coming into Sphinx pose. So elbow tips are underneath the armpits here. Push down through the hands and lift the heart, opening the chest and actively drawing the elbow tips back. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, I want you to hollow out the belly. So lift the abdominals and then continue to lift upward, coming into this roll-up position. So the tops of my feet are pushing down into the mat. My gaze is coming back towards my belly, and I'm really lifting up to the abdominals. Inhale. Exhale, reverse that. Roll yourself right back down to that Sphinx heart lift. So it's 4 counts. We're going to lift up for 4. 3, 2, 1. We're going to roll it down. For 3, for 2. Keep going, big exhale. Feel the belly hollow, and inhale. 2, 3, you have 2 more. Yes, it's lift. 2, 3. It's okay if the hips lift higher than the shoulders, because you're really activating the abdominals. Last time. 2, 3, 4. Roll it down. 2, 3. Now I want you to tuck the toes under. Take an inhale. Exhale, abdominals lift, and your hips come up, coming into a forearm plank. Just holding here for a moment, pushing down through the hands, really spreading the shoulder blades wide. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, I want you to wrap the sides of the waist in and really actively lift up to the low belly. Just hold it here for 4. Hold it here for 3. Hold it here for 2. Find a child's pose, big toes together, knees open wide. Take a moment just to breathe here. Maybe rock the hips or the shoulders from side to side. So I'm hoping that built some good heat into the abdominals, into the core. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to roll yourself up to all fours. Grab your block and bring it up in between your inner thighs. Now I want you to find your hands are directly under your shoulders now, and your knees are underneath your hips. Inhale, actively squeeze your inner thighs in on the block. Now as you exhale, I want you to find neutral in your spine. So lift up through the abdominal wall, hug the front low ribs in, and gently draw them up to the sky. Now notice here if you're rounding through your low back, so tucking your pelvis, or if you're arching, letting your belly drop. Really find that neutral alignment where you're long through both sides of the waist, and the abdominals are lifting up to help support that length in your low back. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, I want you to tuck your toes. I want you to push down through all 10 finger pads and then really actively squeeze your thumbs together. Now nothing is going to change in the shape of your spine. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, nothing changes. You just hover your knees 2 inches off of the mat and hold it there. Just start to squeeze the block in, go squeeze, and squeeze. Yes, so we're in a bear plank position here. The back of the head is lifting up towards the ceiling. The shoulder blades are spreading really wide as you squeeze your thumbs towards one another. Now feel the front low ribs hugging in and the back side of the rib cage drawing up towards the ceiling. The low belly is lifting, and with every exhale, I want you to feel your sits bones squeeze together and draw up so that your pelvic floor is lifting up towards your diaphragm. You have 4 more here. Go 4, 3, 2. Hold that squeeze. Big inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze the block. Feel the pelvic floor lifting up. Hold it here for 4. Hold it here for 3. Hold it here for 2. Lift the hips, downward dog. Keep the block where it is. And just imagine lifting the sitting bones up towards the ceiling here. And then taking any movement that feels good, maybe rocking the hips or shaking out the head. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Lift up onto your tippy toes, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, come back to that bear plank position. Knees are hovering just an inch or 2 off the mat. You're gonna squeeze the block in, inhale. As you exhale, really lift up through the low belly. Now inhale, tap the knees down to the mat. Exhale, lift to a hover. Just like that, it's inhale, tap. And exhale, hover. So throughout this class, we're gonna really be firing up all 4 layers of the abdominal wall. So this first set here is really about firing up the deep core, the transverse abdominis. It wraps around you 360 degrees. So it's this nice corseting muscle around the mid-body. And you want to really hug it in towards the center. 2 more. Inhale, tap. And exhale, lift. The last one, tap. Now you're going to hold that lift. Just squeeze the block and find some stillness. Just hold here for 4. Hold here for 3. Yes, wrap the abdominals in 2. Tap the knees, untuck the toes, and find a puppy dog pose. Walking the hands forward and letting the forehead melt down into the mat. Let the sitting bones reach up to the sky and the rib cage melt open down towards the floor. 1 more big breath in. As you exhale, you're going to walk yourself up. Take the block out and swing your legs around in front of you for some seated abdominal work. So here, we're going to take the block in our hands. So I want you to take the block this long way, right in the center of your chest. Bend the knees, and I like my feet flexed here with a little bit of space between my inner thighs, so feet are about hips distance here. We're going to squeeze the block, lift the heart towards the block, inhale. As you exhale, keep the same shape in your spine, just hinge yourself back until you feel your abdominals engage. It's inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge it back. We inhale, lift, and exhale, hinge. So, oftentimes when we talk about core work, I think fairly so, our mind goes straight to abdominals, right? The 4 layers of the abdominals. But realistically, your core includes other things as well. It includes the pelvic floor. It includes the hip flexors. So as you hinge back, you're going to feel your core fire, and you're also going to feel your hip flexors fire. That's not necessarily a bad thing, as long as we're also feeling the core working too. So this section is going to be much more about the core as a whole, and about the obliques as well. 1 more time, you inhale, sit it up. Exhale, we hold that hinge back. It's just 1 inch. Little up, little back, little up. Yes, so you're squeezing the block right at the heart. The spine is nice and long. Now, if you're feeling this is all hip flexor, you can play with planting your feet. You can play with externally rotating the legs. You're welcome to adjust as you need here to feel a little bit more activation into the core. But you'll notice I'm maintaining neutral through the spine. So I didn't curve my spine, I just hinged my spine back. You have 4 more here, go for it. 3, 2, Hold that back, squeeze the block at the heart. Go, little squeeze, yes. So we're gonna fire up through the obliques here. So the obliques crisscross over each other, and they run from bottom rib to opposite hip bone. What they allow you to do is to twist. So I want to challenge you to keep the block right in the center of your chest in this next exercise, and allow the twist to come from your waist. Squeeze the block for 8, for 6, you're here for 4, 3, you're gonna hold the squeeze on the block, take a little twist to the left, bring it back to center, switch, twist to the right, bring it back to center, yeah, a little faster, go left, center, right, center. So it can be really tempting when we take these little twist variations to let the shoulders twist more than the rib cage. The block is such a great tool to notice if that's what you're doing. Because if it's your shoulders twisting, the block is going to slide across your chest. If it's your ribs twisting, the block will stay right in the center of the chest, and you still get that twisting motion from the obliques. Yeah, you have 4 more. Go, 4, 3, 2, the last one, hold it center, take a big inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the sits bones together and hinge back 2 more inches. You're back on your back really soon, I promise. Just hold it here for 4. Rib cage in, it's 3. On your back in 2. All the way roll back onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest. And take a moment to just rock from side to side. Getting a nice release for the head, the neck. A little squeeze in of the thighs. Releasing the hip flexors. Take a breath. As you exhale, you're going to plant your feet. And one more time, you're going to bring that block high in between your thighs. Beautiful. Now you could have it this longish, I don't know, we call this a long way. Or you could also flip it so that it runs the majority of the length of the thighs. It's really up to you. Feet are going to be hips distance. Now take a moment to bring your hands to your ribs. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to knit your ribs together. And you're going to hug them down towards the floor. So you think back to the alignment that we had when we were on all fours. I want you to find that here, just flipped upside down. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the block and float the legs up so they come into this tabletop position. So here you are in this all fours alignment, right? Just flipped over. Same positioning, ribs hug in. Sides of the waist strap in. We find neutral through the low spine. And we start to just squeeze the block. Little squeeze, little squeeze, little squeeze, yeah. So take a moment in this position and connect in with your breath. Your breath is so deeply integrated into your core work because the diaphragm, the muscle that allows you to inhale and exhale that moves the lungs, is connected to your pelvic floor. So as you inhale, your pelvic floor also pulls down and releases. As you exhale, your diaphragm draws up to expel the air. Your pelvic floor also draws up. And that's where you can get that really great engagement. So you exhale is where you get that deep core firing. You have 4 more squeezes. 4, 3, 2. I want you to hold this squeeze on the block. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, press both legs out an inch. Draw them in an inch. Both legs go out an inch. Both legs pull in, yeah. So as you press your legs out, you might find that your low back wants to arch off of the mat. Really actively squeeze the inner thighs in on the block. And feel the abdominals hugging down as the legs press out. The weight of your legs is becoming more as you press the legs away, right? And so your abdominals have to activate a little deeper. You're here for 4. Draw it in. Yes. 3 more. Go out. And in. Beautiful. 2 more. Press out. Pull it in. Now press the thighs out. Feel that deep engagement. And then draw them in, stacking them right over the hips. Hands are going to come behind the head. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to curl head, neck, and shoulders up. And then as we inhale, we're going to lower it down. Just like that. It's exhale, curl. And inhale, lower. Now, if this is too much for the hip flexors, I encourage you to bring your feet down to the mat. In fact, why don't we all do that for a moment? Everybody bring your feet down to the mat. And then notice here how we can bring our attention out of the hip flexors and into the rectus abdominis. So that is the 6-pack layer that you think of at the very top of the abdominals, very top layer. What the rectus abdominis allows you to do is this motion right here, to curl and to release, yeah. So it's what you would think of when you do crunches. You're here for 4. And lower, yes. 3 more, exhale, we curl. Inhale, we lower. 2 more, just like that. Now curl yourself up. You're gonna hold that curl. And one more time, I want you to start to squeeze the block. Go, little squeeze, little squeeze, little squeeze. Now you might find in this position, you're more successful. If you're ready to come back up to a tabletop position, take an inhale. As you exhale, legs float up, continue to squeeze the block. Go squeeze, 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 yes. So our chin is lifted off of our chest. Our heart is wrapping towards our thigh bones. The ribs are hugging in and down. And then the pubic bone and the belly button are trying to draw in towards one another. Here for 8, 6, here for 4, 3, 2, hold that squeeze, inhale. As you exhale, I want you to send the fingertips up to the sky. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, send the legs long. Yeah, just like that again, squeeze the block, go a little squeeze, little squeeze, little squeeze. Yes, now as you squeeze the block, you feel the inner thighs fire. Use that inner thigh engagement to lift the pelvic floor even more on your next exhale. You have 8 more here, go 8, go 6, here for 4, 3, hold the squeeze on the block, let the hands come back behind the head for a little bit of neck support, take an inhale. As you exhale, we're gonna curl the heart, go a little up, little up, little up, little up. So it's not that full range curl anymore. Now it's just a really small range of the heart, reaching towards the thigh bones. Ribs stay knitting in and down, and you continue to squeeze in on the block. In fact, why don't you layer that in, add 1 more squeeze on the block, go squeeze curl, squeeze curl, squeeze curl, yes. So you're feeling the whole abdominal wall really fired up here. Go 16, 15, yes. Beautiful work, it's 12. We have a hold on deck. You're there in 8, in 6, there in 4, 3, hold that squeeze on the block, inhale. Now as you exhale, you can stay here, or you can reach your legs a few inches away from you, feeling the low belly really fire here. Ribs knit in and down. Hug the low belly down, and feel the low back lengthen. Hold here, 4, squeeze the block deeper, 3, hold it here for 2, lay back, hug the knees to the chest, and remove the block. Place it off to the side, so it's out of your way. Take a moment and again, hug the knees in and gently rock from side to side. We have one final series here. Take a big breath. Exhale, extend the legs, and then roll over your favorite shoulder onto the belly. Now, a lot of times when we think of deep core work, we don't think about working the back, but realistically, the back is also part of the core. Take your arms out and find them in this goalpost position. Push down through the elbows and actively draw the heart forward here. Now take an inhale, and as you exhale, push your pubic bone down into the floor, and then feel that engagement of the low belly lifting up that you just had when we were doing that flat back series. So low belly is lifting. Just like we've talked about the whole class, the front low ribs knit in, and they draw up towards the ceiling. So the back side of the rib cage pulls up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, I want you to squeeze the glutes and push all 10 toenails down into the mat. Beautiful. Just like that. We're going to lower the forehead down so the nose just lightly taps the mat. And then as we exhale, we're going to lift and lengthen through the chest. It's inhale, lower it down. Exhale, lift it up. Yes. It's inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. So we're nice and supported here with our forearms down on the floor. But see if you can take a little bit less weight into the forearms. Really make this lift come from the strength of your back body and of your core, so that we're not letting the belly push down into the mat to lift our heart up. Really feel the abdominals lift. Feel the back body fire up. And then see if you can create even more length, almost as if I'm grabbing the tops of your ears and gently pulling them forward. 2 more times. And lower down. Last one, hold that lift. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, take a little pulse up, little lift, Little lift. Yes, pubic bone is pushing down to the mat. Low belly is lifting up. And you continue to feel the rib cage knitting together here. So it's almost like a hammock is underneath your ribs. And we're gently lifting that hammock up towards the ceiling. You have 8 more here. Go. 8, 7. Big inhale. Big exhale. Hold that lift. Now from here, maybe you sweep the fingertips long out in front of you. And that might mean that your heart comes a little closer to the mat. That's okay. Push down through the toenails. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, lift the heart up an inch. Go down an inch. Yes. Lift up an inch. So same thing we just did. We just slowed it down a little bit. And we added the weight of our arms. This is going to be a really short set. You have a hold on deck. You have 4 more here. Go 4. And down. Yes. Beautiful. Go 3. And down. 2 more times. We lift. We lower. Now I want you to lift it up. Hold it there. Push your pubic bone down. Take an inhale. Exhale, soften the shoulders and lift the belly as you maybe lift up just 1 more inch. Hold it here for 4. Hold it here for 3. Hold it here for 2. Slide your elbows in. Find that Sphinx position 1 more time. And we finish class just as we started. Tucking the toes. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lift the abdominal wall. And find the hips in line with the shoulders coming into your forearm plank. And we're just going to hold here in stillness. Now notice here if you can get a little more engaged now that we've fired up all the parts of the core. So you notice the ribs hugging in and drawing up to the sky. The sides of the waist are wrapping in as the low belly lifts up. Take a big inhale, reach length through the crown of the head, through the heels. And as you exhale, you're going to squeeze the sits bones and lift up to the pelvic floor. Now find as much length as you can through the spine, and then wrap the abdominals in and around it. So you're really supported, really strong here. You're only holding here for another 15 seconds. So maybe you close your eyes and see where you could get deeper. Where could you get more engaged? Where could you get softer? You're here for 8. For 7, you know you can always tap your knees down, but maybe you stay with me for just 4. You're done in 3. You're done in 2. Lay yourself all the way back down. Rest the forehead down on the mat, and just take a moment to wiggle the hips from side to side, releasing through the pelvis to the low back. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. Slide the elbows in 1 more time, coming into that Sphinx stretch. Now you are more than welcome to stay right here, opening up the chest and drawing the elbow tips back. Or if you feel like you have the mobility in your back, take an inhale. And then exhale, press up towards that seal pose. Letting the triceps draw in towards each other, opening up through the collarbones, through the chest. Big inhale. And a big exhale. Lower yourself down. Press yourself back onto all fours and onto a seat. Bend the knees. Bring the feet a little bit wider than the hips, and then just windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Letting the hip flexors release. Stopping any place that feels tight for you. Let's go 1 more time to either side. Big breaths here. Amazing work. And then join me in a cross-legged position. Quick little side stretch. Right arm reaches up and over. Take an inhale. Exhale. Really anchoring down to the right sit bone. Maybe you rotate the chest up to the sky. 1 more time. Big breath. Exhale, come all the way up and switch sides. The left arm reaches up and over. The left sit bone anchors down. Soften to the left shoulder. Let this feel really good. Maybe you twist your heart open towards the sky here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bring yourself all the way up to seated and join me for a big inhale, reaching the arms high. Exhale, let it go. And that is your class for today. Amazing, amazing work. I hope that you're feeling really fired up, really engaged, and I hope that this information was helpful for you moving forward into your next class. I'll be back tomorrow with day 5 of your Summer Strong Challenge, and I hope to see you back here on the mat. Have a great day.